there's an idea, what's wrong with the Muslims? Why won't they change? If you look at the Muslims today, the Muslims of the 19th century would not recognize the Muslims of today. The radical changes that have occurred in the Muslim world in the last 30 years, let alone the last 100 years, are beyond belief. If you look at Arabic culture, and the fact that MTV, that there is a Muslim version, not a Muslim, but an Arabic version of MTV, which is as racy as the MTV that people experience in the Western Hemisphere. Now, people like an Osama bin Laden, who turns out on and sees that, literally will pull their beards out because it's incredibly traumatic to see something like that happening in their culture. The Arabs pride themselves on what's called ghaira. In Urdu, it's translated as ghairat. Urdu people say that's where the Arabs got it from, but it's actually the other way around. Ghaira is the concept of, it's a type of jealousy. It's the idea of coveting something so much that you're willing to fight for it. And I don't think people in the West can really appreciate anymore the degree to which this virtue in Islamic and Arabic tradition is still upheld. I certainly believe that that was a far more dominant virtue, say in the 19th century in the West, but it's certainly something, now it's a very much live and let live attitude. And there are reasons for that. 2 world wars in Europe have led to a certain way of looking at the world. The crises that happened in the West because of 180 million people dying. We tend to want the Muslim world to catch up with us. What's wrong with you? Why can't you catch up with us? And yet we don't realize that we have been through, in the West, so much trauma to get to this point that we're at. And the Muslim world had a different set of historical traumas, much of it, in fact, a result of colonialism. So we have very different historical circumstances.